YouTube Nation, Madden TV, aka Me TV, aka stand up and let your voice be accounted for because it does matter. And we're going to talk about that today, okay? And I'll put it like this. Before I get started, I want to thank you guys for, everything that you sent me. I mean, not just the information and everything, but the messages from the last gaming video I did, a Don't Make Cry video. I had just an overwhelming amount of just comments and messages saying thank you and, cheers and stuff. Look, you guys put your heart and soul in those comments. I see this paragraph on top paragraph on top paragraph, all right? I see it, and I'm reading it. Just because I don't get back to you doesn't mean that it's getting ignored. I just want you guys to know, there's just way too many people to get back to, okay? I'm still reading mail from it. I am. So understand that this is something that it's just very overwhelming, and I will put it like this. I'm just happy that you guys are seeing the truth, and the support has been amazing, all right? And what I also want to say is thank you guys in the comment section. You guys aren't fighting. You're not fighting. That's the beautiful thing about it. You guys, no matter if you're on whatever side, you're all just talking. That's the beautiful, and you can't say that about a lot of videos because a lot of these videos, a lot of them, especially from either people who are trolls or even Capcom themselves, there's so much fighting in their comments and so much hate in their comments. And you know what? They don't care. They don't care because it racks up their views and racks up, that's all they care about. That's all. I'm actually happy to see that nobody's fighting. Hell, some of you guys have just start talking about anime and start talking about other games. It's great to see that a community can sit and talk, you know what I mean, without having to go after each other the way they are. Of course you're going to have your resident trolls that come in, but, whatever. Don't worry about them. So, I do want to start off this video. I'm not going to start off with EA like I usually do. No, EA's not really on the radar this week. I do have some news with EA, which really baffles me. But I do want to start off with more important issues. So, let's get into this, all right? Now, I want to talk about this. Because, for those who don't know, Verizon, that's right, they have a patent going on. Check this out. New DVRs will use cameras, microphones to monitor their owners. That's right, this is your cable boxes now. See, and here's the problem. I'm going to read this part to you. It says, the set-top box would use a depth sensor, an image sensor, an audio sensor, and a thermal sensor to determine what those watching television are doing. That's right. It says, if a couple is having an argument in front of a TV, a marriage counseling ad may come up. It says, if two people are cozying up, Verizon may put an ad for contraceptives or a romantic getaway. Now look, I have talked to a number of people about this already, all right? I've emailed a number of engineers and people I know professionally, and all of them say the same thing. There is no way that Verizon can get away with this unless consumers let them. And we've seen this in the past when it comes to cable companies and consumers complaining. Understand, your voice matters. If you were a Verizon owner, by all means, please start complaining about this, and voicing your concern. And also, if you're underage and you do have Verizon, let your parents know about this thing. Now, I'll put the link in the info bar for you guys so you can read this, okay? And girls, I should say, so you can read this. But understand, your voice does matter. Cable companies have folded before, and understand, I want to talk about this, all right? It doesn't matter what product it is. It could be a video game, a cable box. It could be an article of clothing. You have the right to complain. You do, all right? You are a consumer. You have the right. Now, I will put it like this. There are a lot of videos out there, a lot of people writing articles, and then we're going to talk about gaming, all right? Because you're seeing YouTubers, people that on the internet and articles and companies saying, you're doing nothing but whining. You're just whining. Look, understand. You have the right to complain. All right? Complaining gets things done. It does. Do you think all the changes that we've had so far in life, there was not one complaint? No. It happens, all right? When people was out there marching and carrying on, black people, he's marching out there, for equality. What happened? It started with a complaint, right? Okay, and then built into something else. The ball kept rolling and it got bigger and bigger. Understand that these things, you have the right to complain. If people are saying you don't have the right to complain, then you shouldn't listen to them, all right? People are saying, oh, you're just whining. You know what? You're whining about other people whining. That's classic whining. You understand that, right? Look, I'm telling you now, when people act like that, obviously they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Do not listen. Your voice does matter. It does, okay? Don't let them tell you anything different. Now, I want to move on because I want to talk about EA. I said I wasn't going to start with EA. I started with Verizon. I want to talk about EA real quick. EA brings team draft duels to Madden 13. That's right. Now, we're going to talk about this, all right? Because Madden 13, this is one part I want to talk about, which is ridiculous, all right? Now, it says that With players spending over 16 million player packs, that's right, opening over 16 million player packs and spending nearly 8 million online hours playing games. That is ridiculous, all right? Madden, it says, Madden Ultimate Team, a fan favorite mode, so understand they're aiming for the fan favorite, all right? They're going for the top spot for this point, all right? To exploit you guys. It says, marries player profile collection with authentic Madden NFL gameplay. It says players earn, now listen to this, earn, buy, auction, and trade players to build an ultimate team of NFL legends past and present and make a run for an NFL title. Understand, it's not real, but you're paying. You're paying for this, and gamers, you know how auctions go, all right? Anybody who's ever played a game that had an auction house or whatever, you know how this goes. This is EA trying to milk Madden. Now, I understand you say, well, how can it be milked even more? I understand that as well, all right? But understand, they're going to milk Madden because they don't know what else to do. EA, you were going the wrong way about this. You really are. You were exploiting your customers at this point. And I will say this, all right? Because for those who have not seen, not too long ago, Madden is taking a dive. It's not the most popular franchise anymore. I talked about this last time in a video like this, where it I forgot what it was. Not Dragon Age. I forgot. Mass Effect and something else. I forgot. But Madden isn't the top spot in high sellers anymore, and it's taking a dive due to the fact that less and less people are buying Madden every year. So it goes to show you that EA, you're in trouble right now. You need to stop this, all right? I'm sure if I go back and watch the other video, I'll know what games are the top sellers. I believe it was FIFA, and I believe it was Mass Effect or something like that. I don't remember. Anyways, but Madden wasn't one of them, all right? EA, you really need to fix this. I don't know what you're doing. Other than you want money, I don't understand why you're doing this. This is wrong. All right, and you're going to push more people away, I feel, if you keep this type of route going. At this point, somebody may just buy you out, because I'll put it like this, even though FIFA and the other games are higher selling games, you lose Madden, you're in trouble. Especially if NFL 2K starts making football games again, you're in trouble. You really are. But I want to move on. I need to talk about this because a lot of you people have sent me messages about this. I haven't talked about it in a while. You've said that, Event, can you please not talk about sexual harassment anymore and, with women gamers, in this community? No, I'm going to keep talking about it, all right? Because if it's a hot button issue and if it's changing the way that we game and it's changed the way the industry is going, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to stray away from it, all right? You may be sick of it. If you're sick of it, then by all means, because I'm getting ready to talk about it, I advise you leave the video, okay? How about that? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is something that needs to be talked about. You guys have already, and girls have already known about what happened with the Street Fighter, that whole issue, Street Fighter vs. Tekken. We all know what happened. I'm still pissed off about that, to be quite honest. But I want to talk about this because this goes for all gamers, not just sexual harassment or, sexism, all right? I want you to listen to this. Halo 4 devs speak out against sexism. They're saying it's wrong. It's something that needs to be eradicated. This is a problem. Now, while that's commendable, and I agree that there's something, that there's something wrong with that, and it needs to be taken care of, here's my other problem, all right? Because when you open that box and you stand up and say, oh, well, I'm against sexism, what about the other issues? What about racism online? What about just straight up bullying and harassment online? Why aren't you going after these issues as well? Why are you not standing up to say anything about that as well? See, this is the problem. And before, I understand there's a lot of new people probably watching this video, and they're going to say, have you stepped up? If you watch my past videos, I have stepped up about racism. I have stepped up about sexism. I have stepped up for the alternate lifestyle community. I've always stepped up for that, let's say, if you open that box, you got to be it for it all. You know what I mean? You have to. If you're not, then you're going to look like a clown. Now, here's the thing. After they come out and say they speak out against sexism and that they won't tolerate it, right? Halo 4 will not be issuing bans for sexism. Are you serious? So let me get this straight. You spoke out and said something about it and try to, talk tough, but then you're not enforcing anything. There's a problem there, all right? Because you should know by now there's going to be idiots online and they're going to call your bluff on it. You have to make, a statement. You have to make somebody, should I say, how can I put this? You have to make somebody, word escapes me right now. You have to make an example out of them. There you go. You have to make an example out of somebody to show that you mean business. And it seems like a lot of people aren't willing to do that. However, there is a company that is doing it because, for those who don't know, a pro League of Legends player has been banned. That's right. For harassment, abuse, and negative attitude. And that's what I'm talking about. Because that's not what gaming is about. It's not about going around harassing people and carrying on. We didn't have this back then. All right? I don't understand what's going on other than the anonymity of the internet. It's stupid. And it's good to see that someone is being made an example of, because you got the people from Halo, which is a larger franchise. I mean, come on, let's not lie here. It's a larger franchise, and yet they're just talking tough but not doing anything. So people are calling their bluff on it. And then you have League of Legends. They're just like, we're not even going to say anything. We're just going to start banning people. And that's how it should be done. All right? To show that you mean business. It's ridiculous that gamers cannot show any type of behavior, you know, like, oh, it's the internet, I can just act any way I want. No, that's not how it works, all right? You have to understand, when you sign up for stuff, especially YouTube or any forum or whatever, any game that you're playing online, understand that there is a terms of service. There are guidelines that you have to follow. If you do not agree to that follow, you cannot play that game, all right? And if you get caught, then they can take it away from you. It's that simple, all right? Understand what that. Obviously, people aren't understanding what they're hitting the agree button to before they play the games. They're not reading it, and that's something that needs to be done. Take your time and read the stuff. It's not that hard. I understand you want to tear into your game and just play it right away, but that's not how it works now. All right, especially with online gaming. Now, I do want to move on. I want to get back to the sexual harassment thing, because Hitman Absolution. All right, this writer of this article says there's too much porn and not enough gore. That's what it says. I want to talk about this real quick because the writer goes on and says, amazingly though, and before I start, spoilers, okay? Spoilers. So if you don't want to hear Hitman Absolution, please fast forward, okay? It says, amazingly though, one of the brief shining moments, we're going to talk about the women with the, with the nun outfits on, the scantily clad nun outfits, that's what I'm talking about right now. It says, for one brief shining moment, the narrative touches on the backstory of these scantily clad women, referencing the entire sobering subject of sexual abuse. It says, apparently at the hands of members of the priesthood. Okay? It says, however, as quickly as this fleeting attempt at intriguing character development is presented, it vanishes. It says, replaced by suggestive poses and innuendo and latex-covered breast. It says, such is the diminutive lot of IO Interactive have lumbered Hitman Absolution with. It says, as soon as the game's story starts to broach intelligent, challenging subjects, it says, the designers evidently grew enormously timid in response and instead decided to play it safe. And that's the problem today. Game developers playing it way too safe. All right? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But let's keep going. It says, and just return to appeasing the lowest denominator with cheap lewdness. We've all seen this already, have we not? Okay, like I said, educate yourself and understand what your games are doing, all right, and what messages they're sending. That's what you have to realize. All right, it says now while this may titillate the throngs of juvenile teenage boys playing the game, that's a fairly easy target considering that the word titillate itself is equally able to titillate horny teenage boys. It says older, more mature gamers need something more substantial. Something more intellectually stimulating. It's very interesting to read this. I'll put the link in the info bar for you guys and girls because it is something that needs to be said. But with that being said, understand this. A stripper reviews Hitman Absolution. Why do I care? Why does anybody care? And this is from Forbes. So I'm thinking to myself, there are many people who can review this game, who have played this game in and out, and we've all heard about the patches that needs to be done with this game. And you're going to tell me you're going to highlight this girl because she's a stripper. Really? That's what it comes down to. So all the gamers that are for games get flown, they go under the radar. But a stripper, yeah, I'm done with this, man. Seriously. And this is the media at work. This is the media at work. All right? But here's another person that says in an article, one-sided problem of over-sexualization in games. And he goes on to talk about most of his stuff is coming from Twitter hashtags, believe it or not. And he talks about how women are complaining about how women are objectified in games and how they're designing games. And he uses Cammy as an example. And I put it like this. Cammy has been around for years. Cammy wears a bodysuit. All right. Now I put it like this. Women, you know what bodysuits are. They've been around since what, the 90s, if not longer. They, the ones that snap up and, hit the crotch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. So I put it like this. There's no reason why we should still be going through this because the complaints that are being used are quite outdated. All right. And he goes on to talk about how, there needs to be more of a connection, and there is, because there has to be some type of medium that can be met. It really can. There has to be a medium, a compromise between this. But like I said, it's amazing how we've seen in a number of months, almost a year now, how we've seen the sexual harassment, label, and there are some out there, but how it's just taken the forefront, and we've seen, like I said, we've seen racism fly under the radar. We've seen all types of bullying and harassment flying under the radar. Companies, look, you have the money. If you want to change things, you have to invest. You cannot leave it to us consumers to always police our own. You can't. You just can't. You have to invest, and like I said, I'm not trying to hear, oh, we're just going to give them some servers like 2K did. We'll give you the old servers from 2005 to play online and not do anything. No, it does not work that way. You have to monitor these people. You're going to have to hire people. You understand that? To understand what's going on, to see what's going on. There's no reason. And the complaint forms that you guys have, you don't do anything. Oh, I'm going to report you, and then those reports go nowhere. What's going on? I don't understand this. Companies, get your act together. If you want, I'll play this. If you want to be professional and you want to be hailed as great, because that's all you're worried about is selling, selling products and being praised and having awards and all this stuff, but yet you're not protecting your consumers. You're not. I don't get this. Anyways, let me keep going. One-sided problem. I'm sorry, I just talked about that. Here's an article that says you can thank women for Dragon Age 3's lack of creepy sex plot. And this guy talks about how, you can really thank, it's like almost like a shot at him if you ask me. You can thank women. Look, I'll put it like this. He talks about how there's women writers in the workplace now, and that, every time they try to bring up something and try to push the envelope, women would be like, well, no, we can't do that. No, that objectifies women. We can't do this. So they had to stop. Now, I will put it like this, all right? We had one situation just not too long ago where they were playing it safe with Hitman, apparently, and now we have another part where you can actually push the envelope, but it doesn't happen. So we have a problem here. You get what I'm saying? And here's the problem, because you have to understand, Dragon Age is very dark, all right? It's a very dark game. We know this. So the themes that have already been used in the first two, which we all know, a lot of people did not like Dragon Age 2, those themes are already there. You have to let that roll. You have to. And understand he brought women writers in. And here's the thing. In the article, the guy talks about how there's sexual harassment in the workplace. He briefly mentions it. And what bothers me is that you're only mentioning it briefly. That's a bigger case. That's a bigger problem than actually showing women like this on, in a video game. That's a bigger problem. And I don't understand why that wasn't touched on even more. I don't understand it. If anything, I would have respected that is journalism. That's gaming journalism, harassment in the workplace, sexual harassment in the workplace, as opposed to, oh, well, this character can't go through this, or the way they look, or we could put in a rape scene, but then it would objectify. Look, you got to be kidding me, all right? Go for the bigger story here. And yet they want you to respect them. That's just absolutely ridiculous. It just is. And I want to talk about this. Because, I put it like this. There's no way within all that we've seen so far that I've talked about, racism, sexism, all these things, we didn't have this in gaming. Where did this come from all of a sudden? You get what I'm saying? And here's what I understand. Because the video I'm getting ready to show you guys, what happened to this good old clean fashion fun? Gamers getting immersed in their world and not having to worry about anything. And actually having a crowd cheering them on when they're doing these type of things. It is ridiculous that we do not see this type of camaraderie anymore in gaming. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out this guy in the arcade playing a light gun game. A lot of people call him crazy. Personally, I admire the guy.
ไม่กลัวรถเข็นนะ
ก็เห็นจอด้วยนะโอ้ยพัดฉาก
Yeah.
Yeah, man, see, that's what I'm talking about. You see how he's playing? He has his own style. He's immersed in that world. All the people around him, they're not giving him anything, you know, any problems about it. They're not harassing him or anything. No, they're just as sucked in as he is. You know what I mean? And that's what it was always about. Everyone calls him crazy. I say he's cutting loose and he's having fun. That's what video games are about, to get into your own world and just become that character. It's a great thing to see. It really is. I guarantee you that guy knows how to have fun outside of video games. That's a cool guy. Now I want to move on, all right, because I want to talk about free-to-play games real quick. And the Old Republic, that's right, people, for those who don't know, a writer teases of upcoming stories. He's saying that free-to-play allows more stories. Do you know what that means? That means free-to-play games, they're giving you more content as opposed to pay-to-play games. Now, I've talked about this for like 2 years now or so, haven't I not? And people jumped all over me about it and said, you know, pay-to-play is the way to go. Free-to-play gets you nowhere. And then we saw all that stuff with DCU on how it raked up in all those sales once it went free-to-play. I told you, free-to-play is the way to go. It just is. It opens more doors for people. That's what it comes down to. Now, I want to move on because I need to talk about pay-to-play. That's right. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, the new Xbox karaoke game charges by the hour. How about I just go to a karaoke bar if that's the case? All right? I'll have more fun with a bunch of friends and a bunch of random people. Because for those who don't know, look, here in Philadelphia, we have this place called Yakitori Boy down in Chinatown. And there's a public forum where you can do karaoke, and there's private rooms you can do karaoke. It's one of the biggest things that are here when it comes to karaoke. I really wish they would put it in Rock Band. But anyways, if you go there, you meet so many random people, and women, men, I mean, it's just crazy for the stories. I'm telling you guys, war stories for days. I'm telling you, I have family and friends who have war stories for days. Just being, that's what it is. I say war stories because it really is like when you go at night and people are drinking and you're singing and all, you're going to have some stories to tell. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a lot of stories to tell. I'm telling you, man. I can do a video and just tell you just stories. It's crazy. I'm telling you. It's a great time. There's also my friends who watch this show too, so they can vouch for me on this. I mean, when we go out during the weekends, it's crazy. It's hilarious. But, you know, I want to move on, because this is a serious issue. And this is another, once again, a company problem. Okay? Star Wars Battlefront 3, that's right, we're going to talk about this. All of us, including myself, we are so psyched for this. We want this to happen. It was 99% finished until it got canned. What is going on, LucasArts? What is going on? How do you have a game that's 99% finished and then decide, hey, just destroy it? You understand, now for people who don't know business, all right? When you have something and you invest so much money into something and it's 99% finished and then you can it, that's a loss. That's what you would call crazy when it comes to the market, because all your shareholders, all that stuff, LucasArts, I don't know what's going on, but you're bleeding money when it comes to that. And I understand a lot of people say, well, it's not bleeding money because you got all the Star Wars franchise and they're still making money. Yes, it is making money, but their gaming division is hurting badly. You have to understand, when they have different divisions and they have different budgets for those divisions, okay? So their animation division they have, I'm sure a lot of people have saw Star Wars The Clone Wars. Was it on Cartoon Network, you know, the CG one. Personally, I actually like the Star Wars one that Genndy Tartakovsky did. The same guy who did Dexter's Laboratory, when he did those hand-drawn animation ones. I thought they were great. That's an animation division. You have the CG ones. You have the video game division. You have the movie division. Even though George Lucas has the entire franchise, as we all know, Disney just bought them out, they're broken down into certain divisions, and every division has a specific budget plan. All right, that they have to meet a certain quota, all right, whether in the green or in the red. I understand that doing this, it hurts the video game division badly, especially since we've only seen, was it The Force Unleashed come out, and now this, that was supposed to come out, which fans were waiting for, and now it's gone. So understand, they are hurting in their gaming division. It's really bad. Also, I want to talk about this a little bit more in movie news, gaming, but movie, whatever. Guillermo del Toro's Insane. Now, we saw this not too long ago when we saw it debuted not too long ago. Was it about a year ago or so? Spike Video Game Awards, which is coming up on their 10th anniversary. People, please, 10 years, and it still sucks. But anyways, it has been revived That's right. Insane is coming back out. It's been revived. It's great to see. I was looking forward to it when I first saw the trailer. We all know what Del Toro can do when it comes to his movies. If you have not seen them, please, you can watch like Hellboy. You can watch like Pan's Labyrinth. You can watch, there's a number of movies that he does. He actually has a new movie coming out that looks really good. So, horror movie. So, I'm definitely going to check it. Y'all know how I feel about horror movies. So, I'm going to move on. The next Xbox, that's right, we gotta talk about this. The next Xbox is coming out before Thanksgiving of 2013. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit due to the fact that this is what's been reported so far. It has been rumored, all right? So next gen is starting very soon. I don't know how far this is going to go. I don't know if they're really going to do this, but I understand a lot of people want a new next gen Xbox. I really feel this generation is not over yet. They have not fixed a number of things. They just haven't. You know what I mean? That we get already. There's so many day one patches. There's so many bugs. You still haven't got it right yet. And yet you're ready to move on to the next generation. You know how I feel about this. For people that have been around me for so long, new subscribers, yeah, I have a very big problem with that. All right, they need to fix what they have already and use it to its maximum potential before they decide to move on. That's just how I feel. Okay, you want to get the most out of your gaming experience, no matter what generation it is. So you definitely want to do that. They're still making games for the PS2. You know what I mean? Good games. So it's like, you want to get the most out of your experience, and yes, I do buy those, all right? I still buy, like I said, I'm a gamer, so I'll buy, no matter what generation, I'll buy them. Anyways, I want to move on because buyer beware the pitfalls of BioShock Infinite Special Edition. That's right, I will leave it in the info bar for you guys who's fans of BioShock thinking about buying it. The writer goes into contrast about exactly the differences, I should say, on the Special Edition and regular edition and what you can look forward to. Please, BioShock owners, please read this, all right? This is something, they say, it's about being a smart consumer. Now, I want to move on because 007 Legends, that's right. Developer layoffs, that's right. The majority of staff. This happens like clockwork all the time. Every time a 007 game comes out, and from what I'm hearing, 007 Legends was great. That's what I'm hearing. But the developers have been laid off. The majority of staff have been laid off. This is ridiculous. Every time a 007 game comes out, this happens. I don't understand what's the problem, all right? But also, Skyrim, I gotta talk about this, alright? This is big news. Skyrim PS3 DLC is finally coming. But here's the question. Will anyone care? It's been so long, and we all know, I'm sure there's some people that are out there that care, that want that Skyrim, stuff, and I understand why. I definitely understand. But I get real tired of seeing, these companies go to the Xbox, make all this stuff for the Xbox, then decide, oh, we're gonna move on, and then do the PS3 and whatever. It's sad. It really is sad. It really is. And speaking of companies, I have to talk about this. This has been really pissing me off all week. All right. Shining Force 3. We gotta talk about Sega. Shining Force 3 video comes under siege. We know that, all right? It came under siege. I'll put the links in the info bar for you guys, all right? But Sega is now pulling Shining Force videos from every YouTuber on YouTube. That's right. So if you talk about Shining Force 3, apparently it's gonna be a problem. At first I thought it was just removing content, which is already bad enough, all right? That's like strike one, but you're removing content from people who have been doing this for years. But the article states that people who talk about Shining Force, so if you upload a video just talking about Shining Force without showing any of their stuff, it's just you talking about it, they can pull that too. That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. You cannot tell people what they can and can't say, and we all know how YouTube goes. We know flag first, ask questions last. We know how YouTube is, all right? But understand that you cannot tell people what they can and can't say on YouTube when it comes to video games. If they have an opinion on Shining Force, then guess what? They're allowed to it. They're not showing your stuff. It's their original content. You can't tell them, oh, we're going to flag this just because it says Shining Force and that's it. You can't do that, Sega. You owe fans a big apology, huge apology. Now, I'll put it like this, because you got fans still walking around waiting for Shenmue, you're not doing anything about this, but you can be proactive to the new Shining Force because the new one's coming out, and they don't want people to be spoiled. But you can do that. You can put some manpower into that. That's what you're telling me. That's horrible. All right, Sega? You owe people an apology, and you should be ashamed of yourself. YouTubers who have done other Sega products and, reviewed it or walkthroughs and things like that have pulled all that stuff. Be out of disgust. This is horrible. This is something that you can't do. Sega, get yourself together. I understand that you're trying to meet sales and quotas, but this is the wrong tactic. You are hurting your own fan base. You owe them an apology. You should be ashamed of yourself. All right. Anyways, I do want to move on. There's an article talking about transitioning to the next generation as results into casualties. I'm not going to get in that. I will just put the link in the info bar. Guys, understand. This is what Take-Two has to say. I put it like this. Next generation is going to result in the casualties. They go a different way about it. I'm going to talk about the way I want to talk about it, all right? Understand, a lot of people are not ready for next generation. A lot of people, I've already said, want the most of their experience in this generation. I don't feel it's right. If you're going to buy a next generation system, which I understand a lot of Xbox owners more than likely will move on, but I want to talk about this. I put it like this. Wait. Don't buy it first day. If you haven't learned from this generation when it comes to the Xbox and the PlayStation 3, seriously, understand these things are going to have a failure rate. All right? I'm not trying to hear, oh, they've learned from it. No, they haven't learned from it. They're a company. They never learn. If they learned from it, we wouldn't have went through it this generation. Understand, we went through it with the PS2 era. All right? And the PS2 era was with the Dre's, did we not? The discrete eras. We went through it with the Super Nintendo era at one point when we had problems. We had with the PlayStation 1 era where if you try to get imports, I swear to God, for those who do not remember the import system, all right, if you didn't have a modded PlayStation 1, you had to turn your PlayStation upside down, or you had to use the toothpick effect where you had to keep the tray open and let the disc spin. Look, there were so many tricks to the PlayStation 1 era. I'm sure a lot of you remember, all right, or not even a toothpick, but a Q-tip where to keep it open. Y'all know how this goes. Okay, now, I'll put it like this. We saw all the problems with the Xbox 360 with the red lights of death. We saw all the problems with the PlayStation 3 with the yellow lights of death. Xbox took, Microsoft, they took responsibility and dealt with it, you know what I mean? And from what I'm hearing, it still happens to this day. But they still try to deal with it and give you a replacement, Xbox. PlayStation, Sony, they never took responsibility for it, ever. I've done videos on this. They never took it. They say, oh, well, it's not our fault. It's something on the gamer. No, it's not. It's something that you made. It was faulty. You admitted that there were certain problems, and then you kept making all these renditions of the PS3, as we know now. Don't get me started, Sony. But you should know by now that when you go out and buy the first thing, like I said, people, I understand you want it right away. Wait so that you don't get screwed. That's what it comes down to. It's that simple. I understand you say, what? That's crazy talk. I don't know what to tell you, all right? But I do want to take a break real quick. I want to talk about a game that I have not played in a very long time. I played this as a kid when I was in Chuck E. Cheese, actually. And I've always back and played it until they took the machine out, actually. It's great. For those who don't know, I always do an old school setup for you guys. Last one I showed was what, Superman or Pit Fighter, one of those, in the arcade. This time, I'm going to have to give a shout out to my homie. And you know what I'm talking about? Talking about Popeye. I cannot tell you how many memories that brings back. Old school gamers, I don't have to tell you. You know how it is. You know how this goes. You know what I mean? Parents and everything. You know how it is. People who are new to this, people who've been watching, you know that I've done these old school games, and people who are new to my videos understand I always show these old school aspects because you should know, I feel as though you should experience these type of things. Even though you're getting all these new games and flashy games, you should understand that you should know where gaming, was at one point and how far it's come. That's why I'm showing you, so you can get that experience. And I understand you're going to say, well, the game looks simple. You know what? As simple as the game may look, it's really hard. It really is hard. So, by all means, please check out Popeye. It is a great game. I'm telling you, give you a lot of laughs. I'm sure somebody will get frustrated and rage over it, but whatever. I want to move on, okay? I want to talk about this. Now, last time I did a full video, I believe I talked about how Capcom said that they were willing to give, Western developers more, leniency, and they would outsource their games to more Western developers. And I had said, well, it's not about giving Western developers, your problem. That's not the problem that fans have. It's finding good Western developers to give it to. Did we not talk about this? Well, now Capcom is saying that they're going to scale back on outsourcing games. Change your heart, huh? Just saying, they're going to scale back now. So also, Capcom France director bails out. He's tired. Capcom Europe has reported that he is leaving. Also, some of you gamers got back to me about Ace Attorney 2. There's a petition that is getting ready to die. It's been for a year. They need help. They need help localizing Ace Attorney 2. Please, by all means, sign the petition, okay? Also, Street Fighter vs. Tekken. I got to talk about this. There's a major patch arriving next year. Now, it's funny because we've talked about this in the past. And how many people, when they came into the comments, would argue with me, Street Fighter Tekken is great. Oh, it's flawless. And I would say, okay, you keep thinking that. Wait till those patches come out. It's not going to get a patch. They're not going to change anything. Major patch coming. I'll just say, major patch is coming, and understand that this is something that needs to happen. Now, I will put it like this. If the major patch is coming, it's going to be reworked gameplay. I've shown you reports in the past about it. Reworked gameplay. You're going to have to learn an entirely new fighting system. Or should I say engine. It's the same engine, but a fighting system, the way things are set up. I'll put it like this. If it doesn't make you change your mind when it comes to doing this, you're just going to learn a new game pretty much. I'll put it like this. If they put out a patch and not much has changed, fans are going to be mad. Because they're going to say, what took so long with this patch? Nothing's changed. So I put it like this. Either it's going to be a huge patch that's going to make you change things and you're going to have to adapt as a gamer, or they've just been BSing you. You get what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. Also, I want to talk about this. One Piece Pirate Warriors 2 has been announced for the PS3 and PS Vita. So all you One Piece fans, you're getting ready, to get your stuff. Also, I need to get into some fan mail, okay? Tekken Tag Tournament 2 online problems, apparently. It says, just want to let you know of a problem with Tekken Tag Tournament 2's online mode. It says, don't know if this has been mentioned to you by anyone else as well. No, it hasn't yet, okay? It says, basically, when you try playing online, the game takes forever to find an opponent, so it has matchmaking problems. It says, I normally play on ranked mode, but it's the same when you try to find someone for a player match. It says, I'm talking upwards to 25 to 30 minutes. This is what this person's going through, okay? It says, what usually happens is that it will tell you that it found an opponent, usually a 4-bar connection, which is supposedly to be pretty good. Yeah, 4 bars, I believe it's 5 bars in total, so 4 bars is the top, I believe, something like that. It says, after a short wait, a message appears stating that the match was canceled. It says, the only games I've been able to play are with 5-bar connections. See? 5-bar connections. It says, and those are pretty hard to find. It says, I live in Greece, by the way, and my internet connection is not the issue. I've never had problems playing other fighting games online in the past, such as Soul Calibur 4. It says Tekken 6, Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Virtua Fighter 5, Final Showdown. It says, sure, sometimes I'd get laggy matches, but I wouldn't have to wait forever between them. It says, with Tekken Tag Tournament 2, it seems to work the other way around, i.e. very long waits between matches, but when you get them, they're completely lag-free. I prefer the other option, to be completely honest, it says. It says, from what I've read on forums, other people have also had this problem, but this was back in September. It says, I only started playing online, or at least attempted to do so in the past few days. It says, I don't know if people are still having issues. It says, this is very disappointing as a whole essence of fun in Tekken. It says, the fighting games in general is to play against them, another human player, not the CPU. And since there's nobody I know personally who plays Tekken that well to play local versus, it says, in the same room with me online is where I go. It says, I sent Namco Bandai a message on their Facebook page about this issue, but they didn't reply to me. So I was wondering if you could address this issue. Now, the people I've talked to about this, they haven't had any problems, they say, but I'm not surprised that you are having problems if you've seen this yourself. Now, if anybody who has played Tekken Tag Tournament 2 that's watching this video, if you had these problems, please address them in the comment section, because I'm sure this person is going to be talking in the comments as well. Please let them know what's going on if you've had any issues, and see if this can be some type of workaround. If there's a problem, there's no reason why gamers, after paying your full product, and of course with the online pass, that you should be having these problems, and Namco Bandai is deciding to just ignore it. That's just absolutely wrong. It just is. But I want to move on. All right. Here's a 4th annual Clan of the Wolf charity. 3 days of Super Nintendo looking to raise $20,000 for the V Foundation. Now, for those who don't know who the V Foundation is, that is Jimmy V. For those who don't know, he was a basketball coach and was always fighting, and he had cancer. This is the fight cancer. It starts noon, December 14th to the 16th. If you are interested in seeing what's going on, I will put the link in the info bar for you guys so that you can watch the charity marathon, okay? Super Nintendo. Also, I want to move on. Starforge Indiegogo campaign. Now, this person sent me a message saying, love the videos. I'm glad there's somebody fighting a good fight, and I can't thank you enough. You don't have to thank me for anything. I'm just relaying information. There's no reason for you, you know what I mean, to thank me. It says, so I'm really excited about this new game that's currently being crowdfunded. It says, was it on Indiegogo called Starforge. These guys are highly ambitious and trying to give many of us exactly what we want in the game. They actually almost reached their goal in only a week and a half. It says, so if you like the video, and feel free to like it, it says, I'm sure they wouldn't mind a shout out. Now, I'll put it like this, people. It is a first person, well, it's not a first person shooter. It's a shooter, all right? You know, almost like Spartans and Aliens, almost like, but it does have its own flavor. It does have its own feel. I cannot show you the trailer for it due to the fact that YouTube is flagging people again. Just saying, content IDs. Anyways, I will put the link in the info bar for you guys for the campaign and the game's official site. Also, here's another thing with Indiegogo, and I hope that you fighting people are listening, because it says, while browsing the other Indiegogo campaigns, I noticed these arcade buttons being crowdfunded as well. It says, now, I'm just going to say up front, my fighting game experience is extremely limited. It says, and I'm not sure if these are actually any good or even reasonably priced. It says, they are certainly flashy, but we both know that means absolutely nothing. It says, haha, okay. Yeah, which is true. It says, I know you have your own stick and basically handle your maintenance yourself. Yes, I handle all maintenance on my fighting stick. Yeah, my stick. By myself. So, yeah, right. Walk right into that one. But also, it says, so I'm just passing the links along so that you can check them out. I will put the links in the info bar for the fighting sticks and the product. So for those guys who don't have a fighting stick, you know, you can check it out if you want to. Also, the official site, it says, for some reason, it's a little confusing for some. It says no prompts. Click the pictures for the products. It says it may still be under development. It's not sure. All right, I'm just putting that there. And also for the game, for this, was it Starforge? Is that what it's Starforge? Yes. Free demo version. I'll put the link in the info bar if you want to try it out for you PC gamers. Okay, guys? Also, I want to talk about this real quick. Disabled gamer. That's right. Person sent me a message about a disabled gamer. It says, I guess he's been playing games since he was 5. It says, which seems hard. It says, but how he plays League of Legends, you would think he was using both hands. It says he's actually using his cheekbones and his mouth to play. It says he describes it more in detail on his channel. Now look, I've looked at this guy's channel. It's the real deal. All right. The guys, you can see him in his stream. He is pretty much laying against a desk, playing with his mouth. That's what he's playing League of Legends with his mouth. It goes to show you, I'm going to put a link in the info bar to his Twitch TV to show you exactly how this guy's playing. You can click on it and see this guy playing. It's amazing to see. It goes to show you that you don't need hands, all right, to play certain games. You have to be resourceful with what you have, which is why I had said in the begin with, almost in the beginning of the Devil May Cry video that I did not too long ago, where I said, you know, people should be thankful when you're trolling people on Thanksgiving. You should be thankful for what you have. You get what I'm saying? Just be thankful for limbs. This guy's playing with his damn mouth, and he's still getting it done. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But I do want to move on. I do want to talk about more fighting games. Fighting game community, you guys know I'm setting up a new project for you guys to put some battles together for, you know, you guys. I said I can do video game videos anytime I want to on King of Fighters or whatever, but this is about you guys. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a tournament together, as I spoke before about this, putting a tournament together on what's going on. We have talked about this, me and other fighting fans on the fan page, to make up some general rules, and I will make a standalone video for general rules of it. However, we're having a problem with the name of this, and we decided we're going to put this in a vote, all right? And we've come down to 3 names that are really good. I like all 3 names, to be quite honest, but we're going to leave it up to the majority of you fans to pick the name for this fighting tournament, all right? Now, first we have Battle of the Bravest, which I'm telling you now, once you hear the rules, you're going to have to be brave to play this game. Like I said, this isn't your just cream of the, just run-of-the-mill, vanilla type rules. No, there's going to be some rules to this, and there's some gamble to it too. But you're going to have a good reason to keep playing, and that's what it comes down to. All right, we're going to talk about this and why, winning does matter. It's not just, oh, well, this guy sucks or whatever. No. They're going to have a reason to keep winning. All right, now, I do want to move on. That's Battle of the Bravest. We also have Symphonic Dueling Orchestra, which is really classy if you ask me. Now understand, these videos that I'm going to be putting together for the fighting game community, this is going to show the cream of the crop class of fighting games. This is not going to be, oh, you suck, you're this, and third. There's not going to be any fighting, any cursing, any death threats and stuff like that. It's not, no. This is what is going to represent fighting games in the community when good players get together and know how to have fun. Okay? Also, the last name is Final Assault Road to Glory. That's right. Now, like I said, I like the name. It depends on what you guys, majority, I will be looking at the comments and seeing what you guys have to say about it. And majority vote wins this. I don't want to just do it myself because I feel it's unfair to those who've come up with these names. You know what I mean? So I want the majority to vote on this. And it's going to be very interesting. I'm hoping to start these videos very soon, maybe in a week or so. Like I said, I'm going to do, maybe next week, I'm going to do the general rules and layouts of games. All right? And we're going to start off, and I'm telling you now, we're going to start off with Blaze Blue, and then we're going to move on to Persona Arena. Now, for those who've been following me on Twitter and on Facebook, I do have those games already. I have acquired them, okay? Especially Black Friday, they were going dirt cheap prices. I have no problems with that. Afterwards, I'm going to move on to other games. I'm going to borrow Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I'm going to borrow from my friend Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and so on. You get what I'm saying? So we are going to move on to this. There's also one of you gamers had asked me if I was going to get Anarchy Reigns. You already know how I feel about that. I mean, a lot of you know how I feel about that and with Platinum Games. We're going to talk about Platinum Games later in the future of what's going on. But right now, I don't think I'm going to. All right? Let's just try to get a community together first on those two games before I move on to others. And don't think that I don't read what you guys are saying, you Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 guys, because I've seen a big support on wanting that game to be played in this tournament. I understand that, all right? I don't have a problem with that. So, like I said, we're going to open up slowly but surely and see just how we can gauge how much fan base we have, and then we'll move on from there. Like I said, all the games, some of you guys even asked for old school games as well. We'll see what happens. Also, I'm telling you now, I want to do non-fighting games as well. Like I said, once we branch out, we're talking Super Smash Brothers, we're talking Catherine, we're talking, like I said, lots of games. I really want to make this community something that's great because I think a lot of fighting games technically don't venture this, this road. Things though, there's so many tournaments that can be used. But we have to start slowly and then move on from there. I'm sure you guys can understand, especially with my schedule. So, like I said, I'm all for it. And also, I will be bringing in, from time to time, I will be bringing in local legends here in the fighting game community. That's right. I will be bringing them in. They will be guest commentating with me as well. So, we're going to have some people watching you as well, all right? So, I'm done for today. Hopefully, the news that I gave you is enough. I will talk to you later. Y'all be safe, and fighters, y'all get ready. We still need more contestants. I have a number of contestants already, but we still need more. I'll talk to you then. I'm out.